You know, the only thing better than looking at Chip Foose cars is driving them. Hi, I'm Dennis Gage. Well, this week I'm in Grand Forks, North Dakota to check out a couple of the slickest show cars you'll ever see. These cars are owned by Wes Rydell, and they were designed by Chip Foose. But a lot of the fabrication was done right in Wes's toy shop here in Grand Forks by Doug Peterson and his merry band. I gotta tell you, I think these are some of the most gorgeous cars I've ever seen, and if I had to bet, I'd guess you'll think so too. Well, Doug, what a beautiful day in Grand Forks. Is it always this way in North Dakota?
It's a little colder in the winter.
Sometimes a little bit colder.
Yeah.
Well, what a great day to have a couple great cars out. Now, these are a couple from Wes Rydell's collection, and they're both
Right.
Chip Foose cars, right?
Yes.
But you had quite a hand in building these, right?
Yes, we did. In both cases, we started the cars in our shop here in Grand Forks and finished them with Chip in his shop out there. So we got a lot of the rough work done here. And
So Grand Forks, North Dakota, Huntington Beach, California.
odd connection.
Odd connection. Well, we've got the Grandmaster and we got the Cool Air, two fabulous faves of mine. But let's talk about the Grandmaster first. Now, I first saw this car at a show called Eyes on Design at the GM Tech Center. Walked by this car and I stopped cold. It's just drop dead gorgeous. And this car is a Riddler Award winner, right?
It debuted at the 50th annual Riddler, and we were fortunate enough to win in 2002.
And was that Chip's first Riddler win?
It was, yes.
Wow. It's a 35 Chevy Master Deluxe, right?
Yes.
That was not really the prettiest car Chev ever made.
No, we called it the Toad.
Appropriately so. But man, there's been some serious work to make it the Grandmaster. What all have you done?
The wheelbase is shortened 1 3/4 inches. The back of the car is moved forward about 5 inches. The cowl is moved back a couple of inches. The windshield is laid back.
Well, I was noticing this sort of dishes in.
Right, on a stock 35 Master, that would have been a straight line from the cowl to the grill shell, and we just wanted to keep the shape a little more flowing.
Flow.
The grill shell's been thinned up quite a lot and also leaned back. The insert is made of stainless steel. It hints at the design of the original Chevy insert.
Headlight buckets?
1939 Chevrolet, shortened about 3.5 inches with a King Bee trim ring and lamp assembly.
Yeah, I like that. And the fenders look like they've been set out a bit, or?
We actually used roughly the outside half of the fender, and because the grill was moved back and laid back, we had to change most of the inside of it to blend into the grill shell properly again.
But the back is what I think is probably the most beautiful part of this car. It's not all that different than a 35 Master Deluxe, but you've really made it work somehow.
The original car, this whole back panel was much more vertical, and by leaning it forward, created a softer roof line here that just helps the whole car flow a little better.
And how about the taillights?
Again, 39 Chevrolet.
Chip's also known for very clean interiors, and I think this is a gorgeous interior. And one of the things I like about it is how it flows all the way from the dash around to the side, around to the back, and completely around.
Yes, that's one of Chip's design themes. He doesn't like to ever see a line end. It should continue to flow.
Unbelievable. What are the seats out of?
They're highly modified. They're from late 80s Jeep Grand Cherokee.
You were keeping with the Grand theme, right?
There you go. There you go.
The gauges look like 35 though.
They are. They're actually original to the car. One of the few things it is.
It looks like you shrunk a Chev steering wheel.
Exactly. 55 Bel Air wheel, reduced in diameter about 3 inches.
Chip's known for equally understated engine compartments. What's she look like? Again, just incredibly clean. What's hiding under there?
It's a 96 Corvette LT4 Grand Sport engine.
Is this fiberglass or is this all metal?
It's all
form?
steel.
Oh, man.
This is actually a duct or plenum that wraps around the side of the radiator and brings fresh air to the engine.
On each side, they just come up, and I like the cap there.
Little access for the
isn't that
radiator
nice?
cap.
Wow. Now, Riddler Award-winning car, you know, fabulous show car, but Chip's cars really typically do run.
This one runs great.
This one runs great. And does Wes drive them at all?
You bet.
Do you think Wes would mind if we took it out?
Let's go for a ride.
How about if I drove?
Absolutely.
All right, close her up, let's go.
Okay.
What a beautiful car.
You got the right posture.
Yeah, you gotta
low.
get down low. Well, this baby drives awfully nice.
We actually built it as if it was going to be a car that you could hop in and drive across country. We haven't really done that,
But it's capable of it.
I really think it is. We went to a Good Guys car show event out at Charlotte last fall. As part of the event, you could get the cars out on the track and make some laps around Lowe's Motor Speedway. That was really great fun.
With this car?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that was. So when you had it out on the track, how did she handle?
It felt great. I was actually driving. I was up in the high line, up where Junior usually runs.
That had to be a kick, and this had to be the slickest looking car out there.
It really does look amazing when it's moving. The car isn't really a car, I guess, until you actually see it moving. Otherwise, it's just a piece of art.
So you've really recreated the entire frame, right? But what have you done for the suspension?
It's an independent coilover front. The rear suspension is actually an old Boyd's unit which utilized a Corvette center section. And then fellows at Boyd's fabricated all the control arms and half shafts. So
wow. Is it a 700 R4 transmission or
4L60E, so the electronic
of course
version of that same thing.
What was I thinking? I'm just astounded that these seats are out of a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but they look so cool, and I love that it just goes so great with the rest of the car.
It really does. It just looks like they're floating on a cloud, and even the passenger seat hinges forward for access to the back seat, just like it did, in fact, in an original car. This was the only body style Chevrolet ever did, by the way, that had suicide hinge doors. The only year and the only body style that they did that on.
Oh, so it came this way. You guys didn't suicide these doors. They opened this way.
They originally were a suicide hinge, yes.
Wow.
We're fortunate that we get to work with someone like Chip Foose. Had so much fun building this car and Pool Air and other projects that we've done with him. So
he's an extremely talented guy.
Yeah. Even the name of the car, we asked Chip, what are we going to call it? And he thought for a moment and he said, how about the Grand Master? And we said, great, but how did you come up with that? And he said, well, it's a Master Series Chevrolet. You guys are from Grand Forks.
Oh.
Let's call it the Grand Master.
Oh, I didn't know that. That makes perfect sense. I thought it was just such a Grand Master, but it's Master Deluxe from Grand Forks. I love it.
Exactly.
Well, Doug, the Grand Master is, in fact, fairly grand, isn't it?
It is.
But let's talk about this Cool Air. Another great Chip Foose, Wes Rydell, Doug Peterson collaboration here. 54 Chevy Bel Air. Another, not really the prettiest car ever built, but you guys have chosen to make this one live again and live beautifully. It still looks fairly 54, but not. What all have you done?
A lot of subtle changes. The 55 headlight eyebrows, lengthened the fenders. The front bumper is from a 56. The hood has been pie cut just to take some of the pudginess out of the nose of the car.
You know, that's what I would call these cars. They were kind of just pudgy. So you really just put it on a diet. The Foose diet.
Exactly.
And the emblem here is
56.
56.
Yep.
I love the color. It's kind of a root beer or something.
It's Chip's take on copper and cream.
I love the wheels too. And when I first saw those, I thought, are those billet? And I said, no, I see some Allen heads there. They must be hubcaps.
They actually are billet. The Allen heads hold a small hubcap on in the center, but they're a billet wheel that's designed to look like the 54 Bel Air hubcap.
It's not chopped or anything. What is it?
You're right, it isn't chopped, but we actually decrowned the roof. Only changed it about 5/8 of an inch in the middle of the roof.
But again, and that coupled with the hood, again, it's depudgied.
Right.
It really is. Interior's gorgeous. Again, subtle, and copper and cream coming through once again.
Right.
Now, is that a 55 dash?
It is. I like the symmetry of the 55 dash, so I thought this just had a much neater feel to it.
Another shrunken steering wheel?
Exactly.
You just like wash those in hot water? Or what? The perforated leather, you don't see that used a heck of a lot, but that is a nice comfort feature.
It's a nice comfort feature and a kind of a nice design accent as well.
Yeah. The side trim, which is kind of 54 and again, kind of not.
We had to relocate the side trim because we raised the wheel openings in the car to accommodate the low ride height so that the wheels can turn without rubbing.
And then you've got the one trim piece that just goes front to back, clean, straight line. Chip likes long lines, doesn't he?
He does, yep.
Now how about back here? We've got what looks like 54 taillights.
They are 54 taillight lenses, Frenched into sort of a mild custom type housing.
Little extension here. And how about the bumper? That's kind of a mix and match too, isn't it?
The corner pieces are modified 55. The centerpiece of the bumper is from the original 54. It fit the body line.
The trunk? I can't believe you left the trunk alone.
No, we didn't put that on a diet as well.
Now, I imagine we've done something wonderful under the hood.
Yes, indeed.
Wow. Well, once again, I can't see much, but I do see 427.
We started with a 6-liter Chevrolet truck block. Boarded about 40 thousandths and put a 4 1/8 stroke crank in it, so it actually does displace 427 cubic inches.
Pretty wild looking headers.
Actually, we made those right in our own shop.
No kidding.
Yep, they're actually a tri-Y design.
And how about the cover this time? Is that steel again, or?
That's the only composite piece on this car made by Tim Fitzpatrick out in Chip's shop.
This is neat though. This is sort of a hood under the hood.
Exactly. It gives it a nice appearance when the hood is open. It's also functional in that all the air that comes through the grill opening has to go through the radiator. It can't bypass it, so we never have any cooling problems with this car.
Wow. So Doug, like the Grand Master, does this cool air do any road work?
It does. Actually, Wes and Vivian drove this car about 14,000 miles last summer.
That would be some road work. That'd be some serious road work, as a matter of fact. Do you suppose Wes would mind if we took it out and did some road work in it?
Hey, let's go for a ride.
And again, you mind if I...
No, that's all right.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. That fires right up, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It's a dream. And it does drive like a real modern car.
Yeah, it's actually C5 Corvette front suspension and brakes, coilovers all around. It's an Art Morrison Max G chassis. So we wanted this to be a very comfortable, drivable car. So we really put a lot of effort into the drivability when we were building it. So far, it's paid off.
Yeah, I can say. You only have to touch that. It's like, holy cow. Have you ever had this thing on any sort of a track?
Yeah, actually, it's been around Lowe's Motor Speedway and Kansas Motor Speedway, and we haven't drag raced it yet, but I think that might happen this summer.
Oh my goodness.
We just ordered a set of drag radials for it, so.
You guys are nuts. Completely nuts.
When you get a chance, if you take a corner a little faster than you normally would, you'll just feel how flat the car stays through the corner. It really feels like more like a Corvette than a 54 Bel Air.
But boy, you can also feel the strength of that engine.
Doesn't take much throttle to get a little response, does it?
No, not at all. Sounds so good. What do you have for an exhaust system on it?
Actually, Wes and I built the headers. They're tri-Y long tube headers, and then we use Borla mufflers.
It's got a real nice, deep, throaty. It's not that kind of tinny that you can get sometime with performance exhaust. This has got a very mellow note to it.
Yep.
You know, it is kind of funny though, because you get into this, it's 54, but it's 55, and your mind is set for that era though. And this steering wheel, I just feel like I'm supposed to be out here someplace. The steering wheel's so little.
Yeah, a lot more comfortable though, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing I noticed is that all the controls, like you say, the steering wheel feels more right, it feels more modern, but all the controls are right where they should be.
It's got satellite radio and nav and power heated seats and all the creature comforts.
feel. Boy, you guys build nice cars.
Well, thank you. It doesn't feel like a 54, does it?
Not at all. And you're right, it really does kind of feel like a Corvette. You could get in trouble with this car, you know?
Yes,
you really could. So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring.